Good morning friends and welcome to the Sharekhan's pre-market update. First and foremost, we'll have a view on the global markets. Yesterday the US markets were closed on account of the Washington's birthday, but currently the Asian markets are trading on a positive note, especially Nikkei, which is trading a percentage up on the back of the Bank of Japan's monetary policy, where the consensus is that the policy rates are likely to be kept on hold and the stimulus is likely to continue, and which would boost the nation's exporters, and so we have seen a good rally happening in the Japanese stocks. Back home, yesterday we had a vote on account, and post the vote on account we saw a good rally in the markets because we saw specific sectors which were gaining from the announcements which are made in the budget, and especially the capital goods sector and the autos, which we'll be discussing more in detail going ahead in the MID updates. As far as the flows are concerned, yesterday we saw positive inflow in the cash provision figures for FIIs to the tune of around 522 odd crores, and DII was sellers to the tune of around 245 odd crores. Going ahead, let's have a view on the market based on the derivative analysis.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. Yesterday we have seen that markets continue to trade in a narrow range even after an announcement of union budget by our finance minister P. Chidambaram, that reduction in excise duty as well as expectations of fiscal deficit at 4.6%. Markets continue to trade in a range and finally snapped a session with a marginal gain of 0.55%. In this period, we have seen that in last hour of trade, formation of long positions by market participants, as around 2.32 lakh shares were added in open interest, and Nifty cost of carry increased significantly by around 146%, and Nifty futures premium increased from 9 points to 17.19 odd levels. On the PCR front, we have seen that marginal increase in the put call ratio from 1.07 to 1.09, which is clearly indicating that put option has added more number of shares than call options. We have seen that put option has added around 22 lakh shares in open interest, whereas call option has added around 11 lakh shares in open interest, which is clearly visible in the options activity. As we can see, 6,000 put option stands with highest number of shares in open interest. We can see more than 1 crore shares are available in 6,000 put option, and call strike of 6,200 stands with highest number of shares in open interest. So we may see market may remain in this range. 6,000 would be very cushion for the market. Our intraday support would be 6060, resistance would be 6120, 6140, and there is no security in band period today. And yesterday FIs were net buyers in future and option segment. Overall, our bias for the market is positive as we are trading about weekly VWAP of 6050, and we may see dip can be taken as an opportunity to accumulate long position. That's from derivatives. Thank you.
Let's have a look at some of the highlights of the interim budget. The GDP growth is estimated at 4.9% for FY 2014 and implies a growth of around 5.2% for quarter 3 and quarter 4 of FY 2014. Fiscal deficit is estimated at 4.6% for 2014 versus the budgeted target of around 4.8% and is pegged at 4.1% for FY 2015. Revenue deficit is estimated at 3% for FY 2015 versus 3.3% for FY 2014. The government expects a 19% growth in the tax revenues and expecting 56,900 crores to be raised from the disinvestment process. For FY 2014, the current account deficit is estimated at $45 billion, which is lower than the $88 billion in FY 2013. The gross borrowings for the government is pegged at rupees 5.97 lakh crores, which is slightly higher than the revised figure of 5.63 lakh crores in FY 2014. However, the net borrowings are pegged at lower than the FY 2014 figure of 4.57 lakh crores. The government is expecting a capital infusion of around 11,300 crores in the public sector banks. The two sectors which have benefited from this move, the first is the capital goods, where FM has slashed the excise duty to 10% on all the goods which is falling under the Chapter 84-85 of the schedule to the Central Excise Tariff Act. This includes nuclear reactors, boilers, electrical machinery and mechanical appliances. So companies like Larsen & Toubro, Bhel, Crompton & Greaves and Thermax are likely to benefit from this move. There has also been a reduction in the excise duty on the SUV, 30%. Reduction from 30% to 24%, and also the reduction of excise duty on two-wheelers and the commercial vehicles. The duty has been reduced from 12% to 18%, which is positive for the two-wheelers and the auto companies. On the news update, GlaxoSmithKline PLC's voluntary open offer to the shareholders of its Indian subsidiary GlaxoSmithKline Pharmaceuticals is scheduled to start from today, and GlaxoSmithKline Private Limited, along with the GlaxoSmithKline PLC's plans to acquire up to 2.06 crore shares of GSK Pharma's at rupees 3,100 per share. On the other news, negative news as far as sentiment is concerned for Hindustan Zinc, where there was the stake was likely to happen, but now the government is unlikely to complete the sale of the minority stake in Hindustan Zinc and Balco this fiscal year, as per the Ministry of officials which I mentioned. On the other negative news for companies like the Jindal Steel and Power, the government has cancelled 10 coal blocks which were allocated to the various firms, including Jindal Steel and Power, Tata and Adani Power, and will deallocate another 21 soon. The blocks allocated to the coal, to the liquid projects of the Jindal Steel and Power Limited and the Strategic Energy Technological Systems Private Limited, which is a joint venture between a consortium of Tata companies and Sasol of South Africa, have been cancelled. And the first long idea for today is Adani Ports. The news is that Ennore Port Limited in Tamil Nadu has awarded a contract to build a container loading facility to Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone Limited after the firm placed the highest revenue share bid last week. Action to be taken is long Adani Ports. The stop loss of 147, a target of 158 and 162. The previous closing was 151. That's it, friends, from the MID Ideas and Update. Thanks and have a nice trading day.